Anyone? Any idea about OSI reference models? How many layers are in the OSI model?
7 layers in the
7 level.
What are those?
7.
What are the 7 layers? Correct. 7 layers are correct. What are the
Physical
7
layer,
layers?
physical layer, application layer,
Okay.
Physical layer, data link layer, network
Hmm.
layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer.
Very good. So, guys, you want to communicate over your mobile. I mean, one system talks with another computer, or one device talks with another device. Definitely, within the networking, 7 layers are working. So one of the best common of the models, common system, international standards organization, open interconnection, which is short form is
OSI.
OSI, OSI reference model, or somebody is calling OSI 7 layer model. So what are the 7 layer models? First one is physical layer,
Physical layer,
and the second one is,
data link
which is
layer,
called what?
data
Data,
link,
data link layer, and the third one is, which is network layer, and fourth one is transport layer. The fourth one is transport layer, and fifth one is session layer, session layer, and sixth one is, it is a presentation layer, presentation layer, and last, the seventh one is, it is a
application layer.
application layer. Okay, so these are all are the what 7 layers. So within the networking, in each layer, I mean end-to-end communication level, so these 7 layers are working. But even any one layer is not working, so users will get the what? Network interconnection. I mean network interruption.
Yes.
So when these 7 layers are working, then only end-to-end communication is possible. That's why hardware level, these OSI 7 layers are very important. Even while working on AWS environment or even DevOps environment in Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, and especially the AWS load balancing application load balancing is there. Network load balancer is there. And even classic load balancer is there. So we have different load balancers. So for example, if you go for the what? Application load balancer, application elastic load balancer is there. So the definition, even in the environment, people are what saying, so this application load balancer working on the what? Layer 7 protocol. This application load balancer working on layer 7 protocol. At the same time, you need to understand, hey, what is the layer 7? You need to think application layer. Oh, this is the what? Load balancer working depending on the what? Layer 7 protocol. And when you are working on the what? Network load balancer, okay, this load balancer designed based on the what? So the layer 3 protocol. So layer 3 protocol. What is the layer 3? Okay, it is a what? Network protocol. It is the what? Network layer. So that's why even in the real time, while running meetings, group discussions, they will give you just idea about this is the layer 2 protocol, this is the layer 3 protocol, this is the layer 7 protocol. So definitely everyone to understand what are the 7 layers. Okay, this is the what? One key element about networking, and every user, developer, engineer again to understand the what? The OS reference models. Now, the second important thing again to understand what is meant by IP address. Again, an IP address, Internet Protocol address, is a numerical label assigned to each device connected to a computer network that uses the Internet Protocol for communication. So you have a mobile. So within the device, one unique number is there. So over the number, you will communicate to end user. So without number, what is the benefit? So no use. Same way, one computer talks with what another computer by using numerical IP address. So those IP addresses are unique.
Yes.
Okay. Any idea about the IP is the short form? Generally, IP full form is Internet Protocol. Internet Protocol address. So anyone, how many versions of IP address?
Two, IPv4 and IPv6.
Very good. So IPv4 is there and
IPv6.
IPv6 is there. Actually, IPv4 is a 32-bit address length. 32-bit address length. But what about IPv6? So the 32-bit
128
the 32-bit address length is almost best example 192.168.10.10 is the address. So it is a 32-bit address length. So users can define IP addresses to computers either static method or dynamic method.
Dynamic.
Okay, but what about IPv6? So the IPv6, how much length?
128.
Very
28
good. 128, not 28,
128.
128 address length. 128-bit address length. So this 128 address length is not possible to set up manually. So system will collect the what IP address dynamically, like it is called what? The IP address is it looks like
public address.
this is like looks like IP address of the what? 128 address bit length. So we cannot assign the what addresses manually, but user can define the what IP addresses manually only 32-bit address length. But nowadays, in the organization, even in cloud computing and DevOps tools, almost IPv4s are there. But some people in public IP address setup, they will use the word IPv6. This is the one directly dynamic address. Okay, then what are the IP address classes? Any idea?
5 classes.
Very good. So it is called what? Class A and
Class
class B
B,
and class
C,
C
D, E.
and class D and class E. So these are the what? IP address classes. Okay. So now why IP address classes? Generally, the Internet Assigned Number Authority. So who are offering this IP addresses? The short form is INA. INA, Internet
Internet
Assigned
Access
Number Authority.
Number of
For
Authority.
example, your mobile numbers and your TV channels and everything is managed by Troy, right?
Yes.
Everything is managed by Troy in the backend,
Yes.
and every bank is under managed by Reserve Bank. Same
Yes.
way, these IP addresses and everything is assigned and managed by INA. So INA reserves the following IP address classes for use as public IP address and private IP addresses. So the class A IP address ranges, it is called what? 1 to how much?
127.
126.
7.
1 to 126 is the what? Class A IP address. What about class B?
127 to 191.
128
128 to
to
sorry. 128.
128 to it is called
191.
what? 191. So remember, here it is called what? 127 is missing. But what is the
Yeah.
127? It is a loopback address. Generally, 127 address is a loopback address. So almost every computer will get the what? One IP address of 127 series. So that's why every local computer will test with 127 address. So every computer by default will get the what? Local IP address, which is range from 127. Generally, the IT terminology, what is the 127 series means? It is a loopback series. And what about class C?
192 to 223.
192 to it is a
223.
223. Very good. What about class D?
224 to
224
239.
to 239. Very good. What about class E?
240 to 255.
240 to, it is a
255.
255. Or you get somebody is calling 240, 255.
Yes.
Okay, right. So these are the what IP address classes. But remember, everyone to understand different IP address classes. But IT sectors and home basic level, everyone will use class A, class B, class C only.
Yes.
Because the class D IP address ranges reserved for it is a multicasting purpose. Multicasting. Okay, generally these IP addresses used by government sector, security sectors like naval departments and like it is called what army departments. So those people will use the word class D IP addresses. And what about class E? Class E IP addresses are designed for experimental. So sorry. So experimental purpose. So now I mean so researching and development purpose, I know people will use the word 240 series to 254. So that's why the general IT company people and regular users and small organizations and everyone will use three different classes only. Class A, Class B, and Class C. Okay, so that's why every computer will get the what one IP from these three ranges only. But now tell me, what are the different types of IP addresses? Anyone? What are the types of IP addresses? What are the types of IP
Public,
addresses?
public, private,
LAN WAN.
No, no, no. First person. What you said is absolutely correct.
public, private,
Public and private.
Public IP address and
private,
private IP addresses. Okay. Generally, IP addresses are two types. What are those?
Yes.
Public IP addresses and
And
private
private.
IP address. Can you tell me anyone what is the difference between public IP and private IP? I think somebody already knows. What about EC2 instance, right? EC2 instance is there, correct or not?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
can you tell me anyone how many how many IP addresses are associated with EC2 instance?
Two IP address.
Two
Two
IP,
IP
two IP address.
Every instance by default having two IPs. What are those?
Public and private.
Then why
One
they
is
are
public,
providing
one is
public and
private.
private? One IP is enough for that, right?
Through public IP, we can access the server.
Uh-huh.
And
Anyone?
private IP is for the internal use.
For
Public
security
want to
purpose.
access the IP, if public want to access the server, they will go with public IP. If you want to connect only person to person, you will go private.
No. See, actually, a public IP address is used to communicate outside the network. That is called what? Open internet access. So these public IP addresses basically assigned by the service providers. I mean, your EC2 instance service provider is AWS. So Amazon will provide the what public IP address for the instance. And every public IP address is unique globally. I mean, when the instance running with one public IP address, so in worldwide, so no one can access, no one can set up the same IP address to another instance. So that's why public IP addresses are open internet access. You want to connect the instance outside of the network, we can use the word public. Then why again every instance has private IP address? The private IP address is used for internal communication between computers within the same network. Within the same network. So in the real environment, so every computer by default is running with private IPs only, not public IP address. Remember. So security reason, people to assign only private IP addresses to each computer. For example, you are the development team. So all development team members are working within the same network, which is called what? Same LAN, local area network, LAN.
Yes.
So by default, within the network, one computer talks with another computer by using private IP only. So your data is safe within the premises only. Your data is safe within the premises. That's why your data will not transfer outside of the network, because those computers not running with public IPs. So why people are keeping private IP addresses in the real time means data security. So people always working within the LAN only. So one computer within the LAN talks with what? Another computer automatically. So private IP addresses are free. So no need to set up the what? Uh, uh, Public IP address for the computer. Even you want to use public IP addresses. So in each computer, one public IP address means how many IPs are required. So they will use the word private IP address even to save the word cost. And private IP addresses are free of cost and works only within the LAN only.
Yes.
But even IP addresses are unique within the LAN only. In your LAN 10.10 is there, but in another LAN they will use again 10.10, and even another network again they will use the word 10.10. Everyone can use the word private IP addresses, but those IPs are unique within the LAN only. Remember, but you have a VPC in the AWS. So within the VPC, one computer talks with what another computer automatically. How it is possible means every instance by default running with private IP addresses. So that story is different. We will discuss in the what AWS environment of VPC concept. Okay. So here, what about private IP address ranges? Do you know what is the private IP range of class A? The completely 10.10.10.0 series. I mean 10.0.0.0. This is completely private IP address range. I mean anyone can use 10 series because it is completely free in a class A. And what about in the class B? So in the class B,
172
172.16, 172.16.0.0.2, it is called what? 172.31.0.0 is the range. I mean the 172.16 to 172.31. So these ranges are completely free under the what? Class B address. And what about the class C range? It is called what? 192.168.0.0. It is a what? Class C IP address range. I mean, every computer, AWS instances are running with 172.31 series by default because they are using class B IP addresses. Same way, Azure also will use the word different series, and GCP also will use the word different series. So even your local computer running with what? 192.168 series, any VMware service, any VMware workstation running with 192.168, and any Oracle VirtualBox running with 10 series. So because every private IP address is free, I mean don't consider the word the remaining IP address except these three ranges. All are the word public IPs. No need to remember the word public IP address ranges. Once to know that, I mean once you know that class A 10 series, class B 172.16 to 31, and class C 192 168. Even in interviews people are asking, what about class B IP address range? What about class A IP address range? So this is also repeated interview question even for DevOps engineers, AWS engineers, and Linux engineers and developers also. So this is called what? Private IP address and public IP address. Now let me go what I'm saying, how to check your computer IP addresses. If I go, ifconfig is the command. So in the Linux computer IP address is ifconfig. See this, my computer IP address is 192.168.10.10. What is the meaning? This is the word class C IP address because currently my server is running on VMware workstation. Okay, this is the word class C IP address range. But even somebody knows IP only is the command. IP space hyphen A. IP directly A. This is also correct command to check the IP address. So what about my computer IP address? 192.168.10.10. And then the next important thing, how to check the word computer host name. Host name is the command to check the word computer. So server.example.com. So my first computer host name is server, my domain name is example.com. And even the another beautiful command is hostname CTL command. I mean, you will get the word complete details about your server, your static domain name of your computer, and computer chases. I mean, this is the VM or physical. So this is the platform of virtualization, VMware, and operating system currently running within this VM. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 90.5, and the kernel version of the OS Linux 5.4, 5.14, and architecture of the OS, this is 64-bit, and hardware vendor of this VMware, and firmware version currently running this is. So we have multiple options with only one command, which is called what? Hostname CTL command. Hostname CTL command. Okay, now I will tell you the few more examples. So not only these two commands, Linux provides a rich set of commands for networking tasks and troubleshooting configurations, and including configuration sections. And not only in one area, multiple areas, we have multiple commands. And can you tell me anyone how to check the port numbers in the Linux? For example, somebody is connected my Linux server over the network. But how do you know? How do I know what port is connected? Maybe HTTP is running. How can I check HTTP running with what port number? Java is running. How do I know Java what port is running in the backend? Tomcat is running. How can I check the what Tomcat service which port is used? So this is a repeated in the top interview question in the Linux.
Keep
Anyone?
config.
What is the command to check the port numbers?
Net space F1.
Netstat.
Netstat.
Netstat is the command. So netstat command will display the word all network statistics. If I enter, see this in the left side and right side, ID numbers, port numbers, and everything. But this is the connected, like different states are there. But when will you use the options, then only the output will be perfect. So these are the options actually. Everyone to run in the environment, PANTL. What is meant by P? P for process, A for all, N for numeric, T for TCP, L for list. If I enter, see this. So right now, so 111 port is connected and 22 SSH port is connected. See, even the ports, multiple ports are listening, but only one port is connected, which is called what? 22. Okay, this is the way we can check the what port numbers in the OS. I mean, this is the what address of the port. This is the what foreign address of the port. I mean, remote server computer address. This is the what your local server address ports. But you can verify the what local server address ports only. So what is the command to check that? Netstat is the command. And next, how many networks are running in your computer? I mean, what are the network interfaces are currently allowed? How do you know that? What is the command?
Route.
Sorry? So we will use the word route command. What is the command name? Router. It displays and modifies the kernel's IP routing table. So you want to get any subnets. What are the networks are running? See this? Currently, this system running with two network IDs. What are those? 172.17.0 series. This is the class B address. So which is working for Docker bridge network purpose. I mean Docker 0 network purpose. And 192.168.10.0 series working for, it is called what ENS 160 means. This is the local address. That's why our computer running with 192.168.10.10. This is the what class C address range, which is working on ENS 160. So you want to get network statistics, network routing tables. What is the command? Route is the command. Somebody will use the word somebody will use the word even direct routing command with different options. And the next, what is the command of trace route? And the next one is the one more important command. Trace route is the command in different Linux operating system, but instead of trace route, so in the Red Hat Linux operating system, trace path is there. So Ubuntu server, it is called what? Trace route is the command. In the Red Hat servers, it is called what? Trace path. So traces the path packets, the packets take to destination. I mean, it is showing intermediate hops. So you want to trace network paths like packets. So the remote server is available or not, how many packets are sending, how many packets are dropped. So we will use the word trace path command, or Ubuntu users will use the word trace route command. So this is trace path. So what is the syntax of the trace path? Trace path, options, and the destination. So we are using IPv4. Then packets are sending with what? IPv4. Options are IPv4. Use IPv4. If I run IPv4 along with what? Multiple options. Okay, DNS address and everything. But as a general level, I mean user level, this command is no need. But who is working on monitoring level? So those people must be understand the what these kind of commands. And the next important command, I think you know that ping command. What is the meaning by ping command, guys?
To check the connectivity.
Connectivity to the server.
Connectivity, internet connectivity.
Connectivity and sending ISMP.
See, everyone connectivity to the server, connectivity to the server. It is absolutely wrong answer.
Or device
So,
is control the network or not.
actually, ping command responsibility is the what? The remote server is alive or not, we can test by using ping command. Are you noted my point? So, for example,
That means it
the
tests the
remote server
network
means your
connectivity by
office server is
sending the
running in the what?
internet
Data
control
center.
message protocols.
The data center server address is 192.168.10, for example. So every day you want to connect the server and manage the what some activities. But how do you know your remote server is alive or not? Is it under network or not? How can you test it? By using ping command, you will test the what remote server state, remote server state. So it tests network connectivity. So don't keep it the what it is used to connect network. It will testing network connectivity by sending ICMP protocol,
Yes.
Internet Communication Message Protocol echo request and response times. So now when the response is like, see this, for example, ping space IP address, then the output is looks like, okay, the remote server is alive. Okay, the server is under the what network. For example, if I change another IP address 100, then what happened? So the bytes are not transferred. So the destination host is unreachable.
Unreachable.
That means this 192.168.10.100 system is not available in the network. Are you clear?
Yes.
So you want to cancel the input option, Control C. So continuously it's pinging the what your service. Then how to cancel this process? Control C. For example, your IP address is IPv6. Then we will use the word ping6 the name command. Remember, ping6 is the command again for testing when the IP version is 6. But when the IP version is 4, you can use the word ping4. But no need to add the word 4 also. By default, ping is the word support for ping4. So for IPv6, ping6. Okay, so this is another important. Then next, any idea about dig command, or it is called what? NS lookup command. This is also Repeated interview question.
dig command is used with the
What is the NS lookup? I mean employees. Every day we are using NS lookup.
Domain resolution. We
Sorry?
have to check. We have to check the domain resolution.
Very good. So NS lookup is the another command for querying DNS servers request. Querying DNS servers. I mean what I'm saying. For example, you have a one server which is called what? Tomcat. Just please understand the concept. Tomcat server is there. Currently, the Tomcat server running with 192.168.10.10 is the example. Okay, just listen. So Tomcat server backend running with 192.168.10.10. Then end users what to do? They will use the what every time this IP address. Every time this IP address, and they can connect the what server. But sir, can I use instead of IP any domain name or any computer name? So then definitely DNS service is required. DNS service is required. What is the DNS? Domain
domain
naming
name
system.
system.
Domain naming service. I mean, it's mapping IP address to names and name to IP address. Or somebody saying it's resolving IP to name and name to IP address. So nowadays we have multiple domains in the online like google.com, yahoo.com, or flipkart.com, amazon.com, you know that youtube.com, like so twitter.com. So multiple domains are there, but every domain backend running with one IP address. Generally people can manage the what connecting and managing websites by using IPs only. But how it is possible multiple IP addresses with domain names, multiple websites can manage with IP addresses? So it is highly impossible to remember just 10 or 20 IP addresses. But with domain names, everyone can remember easily every website.
Yes.
Google.com, Yahoo.com, Gmail.com, Facebook.com, so Cricinfo.com. Multiple websites are there. But is it possible to access the what website with IPs? Of course you can access. But how it is possible to remember? So
It's
websites
not.
with IP addresses. So it is very critical. That's why DNS is playing very critical role in the networking environment, mapping IP to name and name to IP address. IP to name and name to IP address. Let me give one example. See, for example, I want to run facebook.com. Facebook.com. See this? The website is open. But generally, this facebook.com mapping with one IP in the backend. But how can you find this domain running with what IP address? That's what I'm saying. We will use the word NS lookup is the command. What is the command? NS lookup. NS lookup space. What is your domain name? www.facebook.com. I want to know this domain running with what IP address. Great. This is the address of the public 163 to 2.70.140.35. So this is the word Facebook backend IP address. And the Facebook load balancer domain name is this is. But these are the what main name, and this is the what your main IP address. But everyone can access the what with the simple domain name
Domain name is the
www.facebook.com,
www.facebook.com.
because this domain mapping with what this IP address. So in the real time, this is the repeated interview question, because every day you will manage multiple domains in the backend servers. So what domain is mapping with which IP address, which IP to mapping with what IP at what domain name? How can you find it? You can use the word NS lookup command. Actually, NS lookup command is a universal command which will works even Mac OS, Windows,
4 is
Linux,
about
and
the
everywhere.
internet naming
But
service.
separately, the
And
Linux
that to
command
dig
also
command.
is there, which is
What
called
is the
what dig.
difference it is?
So even with the help of dig command, www.facebook.com. See this? The dig also working www.facebook.com running with one canonical name. This canonical mapping running with 57.144.220.1 is the IP address, the backender. So every time, I mean the site running with what? It is called what? Automatic IP address. So if you go for the what? Again, one more IP address, then one more time, you will get the what? Different IPs. So how can you find it? Means Linux users will use the word D command and Windows people will use the what? NS lookup command. Even NS lookup command is a universal command. Everyone can use it. Everyone can use it. So majorly in interviews, people are asking only NS lookup command. Then anyone, what is the wget command?
To download the file from the
URL.
So people are using instead of wget, even curl command also. Correct or not?
Yes.
What is the
Yes.
use of curl or wget?
Both are the same for use.
What is the purpose?
Download the
Suppose any particular
download the
URL,
URL.
suppose any particular URL we want to download, then we go for wget or through curl.
Download the
To
packages.
download the content from the internet.
Download the packages from internet. Okay. See, what I'm saying exactly, for example, I will go, I want to download Firefox, for example. Okay. I need to download Firefox download. Okay. If I go Mozilla Firefox download, under the what official website, where is the option to download? Okay, it is a free download for Windows. Okay, for example, if you click on this, you will get the what? Mozilla Firefox download for the Windows platform. I mean, see, Firefox is being to download. Correct? So what I'm saying exactly, the same software I want to download for the Linux operating system. But already the software is downloaded in my Windows operating system. Again, we can use the what third-party tools. People will go for the what download the what? I mean, copying the what? The current Linux Windows to Linux operating system. But is there any chance to download software directly from the Linux? Because Linux is a command line, we cannot download directly. That's why, what is the tool for downloading softwares or any applications or anything in a command line? So wget or curl. So both are the tools to download softwares with non-interactive method. I mean, it is a command line methods to download the what packages, softwares or links or anything. So use it. Wget space. I want to download Firefox. Just right click on that, copy link address and paste it here. Then people you can download the what software. See that the software is successfully downloaded. Check it ls. So the software is available, Firefox. Okay, the softwares are available looks like this. You want to download any software. What is the option? Wget and then the URL address of the software. Now it will fetch the what? It will fetch the software by using this URL and it will be downloaded. So instead of wget, we can use the word curl also. Even you don't know the what is the wget or curl. See this information, the non-interactive network downloader. Generally, every software will download the what with the GUI method in the Windows. But how can you download softwares with the non-interactive method? We can use the word wget is the simple option or curl is the word simple option. So Linux users directly we can use the word curl or wget to download softwares or packages or applications. Are you noted?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Next. And the next one is ARP is the command. So what is meant by ARP command? Anyone?
Sir, address resolution protocol.
Okay. It is a address resolution protocol. It displays and manipulates the address resolution protocol cache. If you run it, it will how many IPs in the network. So currently the gateway address is 10.1 and incomplete IP address 10.100 is there, and also one more address is running in the network 10.254. So these are all of the what addresses currently within this network. Address resolution protocols. And next, what is meant by ETH tool? Anyone?
Sir, duplicate and call both are same.
Yes, for downloading. If you want to access the website's output and anything, command level, only CLI method, wget or curl.
Okay.
Next, what is meant by ETH tool?
Configure
Ethernet
NI
tool.
settings.
Sorry?
Ethernet tool.
So yes, you will
So
get the what
suppose,
Ethernet device settings. So what are the Ethernet? If you run command, so my Ethernet is ENS 160, right? So how do I know ENS 160 details? So ETH tool ENS 160. Now all details about your interface. So now this interface supports to full duplex and data transfer speed is 1000 base full form. And the speed of the device is here it is called what 10,000
10,000
MB per second.
Mbps.
I mean this device supports 10,000 MB per second. So right now this Ethernet is link detected. I mean currently it is a what active state. Okay, so these are all are the what user level commands in the environment, especially developer level. These commands are very important, but the same commands in the admin level, how to configure it. So right now I have been specified here in the class how to verifying the details one, but the same details how to configure it. That is the class of administration level. How to set up the IP, how to set up the host name, how to set up the DNS names, how to set up the address resolution protocol, how to configure the routers. So that is a different story. But how to verify it, how to trace it, how to monitor it, networking and all details, this is the story. Okay. So guys, these are the what just like networking basics in the environment. But Monday, tomorrow we don't have a session. Remember, Monday I will start self-scripting classes. What are that?
Self-scripting.
Self-scripting classes.
Yes, sir.
So next week onwards, I will explain completely different scripts and what about shell scripts, how to write the shell script, what are the formats and everything. Right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you on Monday. Happy weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you.
Thank